What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my ending explains of this film, Indemnity. This film is directed by Travis Todd. Now, before we begin, if you like this video, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell, top the fun is coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below any video that you watch, including this one. So since this is an ending explains video, there will be spoilers. I did do a non-spoiler review for, anybody that has any interest in this film at all. If you decide to see this film, come back. If you don't care, join us as we talk about this film in a spoiler sense. But once again, it is an ending explained, so I will talk about the ending. So just a quick recap, Indemnity is about a guy who has PTSD, his wife is killed, there's a conspiracy, he goes on a quest to figure out that conspiracy, who killed his wife, and it leads him to many locations. He's being followed by the police because he's under investigation for murder, and he's trying to protect his kid while trying to undercover the conspiracies. That's the quick recap of what this film's about. So with a film like this, with it being a conspiracy thriller, it's a film that has to reveal stuff, pretty close to the ending of this movie. But the thing about this movie, it does it about 40 minutes into the movie, and then it kind of has a huge action sequence at the end of it. If you're curious, or you probably already know if you've seen this movie or if you don't care, this movie is about an individual who had PTSD and he's trying to uncover why his wife was killed. Well, he comes across this guy who his wife was talking to, and his wife explains that this guy had information that involved Theo's character and a bunch of other people he may have been involved with because he was part of the military. And he goes to this guy's house. The guy's dead, of course, because this is the way the big companies use the mercenaries to hunt down the people, because all of the people around Theo that he knows have been killed and so on and so forth. He walks in this guy's room, he sees a whole bunch of papers on the wall and so on and so forth, and they have a bunch of military names and his name's on there, of course, and he finds a video camera, watches the video, and I wanted to try not to talk about the films that this film is resembling just because it would be a big spoiler, but this film is pretty much an homage as much as it can be without, being the same film as Manchurian Candidate. And just a real quick recap, Manchurian Candidate's about individual military individuals who basically get brainwashed into doing hit jobs and kind of assassination attempts, which now that I think about it, it is kind of the same film in a lot of aspects. Because what ends up happening is when he watches the video, he sees that he and all these people were basically brainwashed by individuals for this company that's trying to take out the South African general or whatever to put it in their own people so they can, they can corrupt the world. It's that type of film. And basically he realizes, because he's been going to a therapist, a doctor or whatever, to kind of help him with his PTSD because he lost a woman during a fire situation, that he has basically been manipulated ever since he was in the military to basically become an assassin and a killer, somebody that they could, with the click of a button, with enough conditioning, that they could make him an assassin and he would black out and not realize what he's doing. So he realizes after all this is said and done that the person that he's been going to see as a therapist or a doctor has been in league with this major corporation that, like I said, wants to be kind of a dark horse, a dark net for the South African government. And he realizes that she's been part of that, and she's been using, because you'll see parts in the movie where she puts pads on him, and the drugs he's been given are not only from the company that's doing this, the conspiracy company, but the pads are a way to kind of reconnect his brain into doing what they want. So he approaches, the doctor and threatens to kill her if she doesn't release this information. He realizes what's going on, unravels this big conspiracy where they've started killing a lot of people because they've started, questioning their reality and stuff like that. So basically what we find out is not only is this poor guy just basically a killing machine at the press of a button, but he actually did, unfortunately, kill his wife because they basically found out that she was uncovering all this information. She had talked to that guy, and they actually had a control box behind his nightstand or whatever, that when they pressed the button, he ended up killing his wife. And it's really depressing to think about. It really goes into the kind of commentary of PTSD and how, the things that happen when you see in war and when you see death, or you know, when you see something traumatic happen in like a firefighting situation or a police situation or any of that type of stuff, you know, PTSD can really affect the brain in serious ways. So they basically enhanced that and basically allowed this individual to, under the control, be an assassin. They can go and kill the South African, you know, general or governor or mayor or whatever. And that's basically what this movie is about. It's about them trying to stop Theo from uncovering the truth and basically going to kill him because he is no longer an asset. He's more of a threat. So it's also delving into the Bourne legacy, the Bourne identity scenario where it has a big government, you know, company, a big corporation. They are controlling and conditioning these people. And of course, Jason Bourne loses his memory. He uncovers this conspiracy slowly as we move along. And in essence, he's basically captured eventually by, you know, some of the people that work on this corporation. He, of course, gets loose. He, of course, blows up the big corporation, kills all the people. And because of the nature of what happened, he does go to jail for the murder of his wife because he is, you know, as he says, guilty. But I thought that was really fascinating to think about because, you know, when you go into these conspiracy thriller movies, you know, you look at like Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson, it's about a guy who has some real mental issues, but he has uncovered a conspiracy that, of course, involves Patrick Stewart's character and a bunch of other people in the government. And when they do those kind of things, when they do Manchurian Candidate, even though you know from early on that, for instance, the recent version of Manchurian Candidate, Liev Schreiber is kind of the main under, I think, Meryl Streep, who's his mother or something like that. So, you know, there's a lot of problems, and of course Denzel Washington's character gets involved and stuff like that. I think that brought this movie to a much interesting, more kind of fun level than I was expecting, because not only does it give you some information about PTSD, it does it in a kind of interesting sense, but it also takes the idea and kind of twists and turns the concept of, you know, this conspiracy and this action sense is like Liam Neeson, you know, if he were to be bonked in the head and he wake up as a Jedi or something like that. I mean, I know it doesn't make any sense, but I found that really interesting. I found that a really interesting concept. There's some really, you know, deep meta things going on. But I think Travis Tott really had an interesting kind of idea that he wanted to present with this whole conspiracy, with the whole PTSD, and then using it as a trope in a lot of aspects, but not doing it in a negative way, doing it in a very comprehensive, very, you know, good sense, I guess you could say. It really helps the movie, you know, at least achieve some level of realism, but also has a message to play into the whole thing. So with that said, you know, he, like I said, it finally finishes him with, you know, his like, I'm you know, the individual. But I just think that was interesting to talk about. I just wanted to kind of put that out there as an ending explains, because like I said, even though it's like 40 minutes till the ending, it really is kind of the culmination to what this movie is even about, which is a guy that was used by an organization, which, if you think about it, in this day and age, there is a message there about people being used and giving messages that, you know, probably not for the best, but it is whatever it is. So, I mean, overall, that's kind of where my ending explains ends, but like I said, I thought that was interesting. At least it made it for a much more interesting film. Doesn't mean the film is any better, because it, you know, like I said, it borrows heavily from Manchurian Candidate and of course, you know, Bourne Identity. But yeah, I just think overall I thought that was interesting, so I wanted to talk about it. So with that said, that'll do it for my ending explains. So thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, what was your overall feeling if you watched this movie? Did you find that interesting, the whole idea of what was going on? Do you think this makes it more of a film that you want to see now that I've talked about the ending a little bit? You know, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, if you like what you see on this video, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top. The fun's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.